Welcome to the Tar and Feather Podcast. Here are your hosts, Mustached Vet and Ganglion Cortex.
Why, hello, sir.
Hello. Looking good. How are you doing?
Oh, appreciate it. I feel good. Feel a lot better. I was a little sick last week, so out for the count. So that is one reason why we didn't do an episode last week.
Yeah.
But I feel much better today. I've been having some esophageal issues, so I had a little procedure done. They didn't find anything, so I'm going to go and see an ear, nose, and throat doctor to try and figure out what's going on up here.
Yeah.
So that'll be in the coming weeks, waiting to hear back from the VA, of course.
Yeah, it's always time.
Takes a minute for the primary to get back to you. But
with the secondary.
Have been feeling a lot better. Yeah, secondary. That's me. That's me trying all my herbal spices and my Alka-Seltzer and all my old man remedies now.
Well, you got to go through them all and see which one works.
I got the pillow that helps keep me upright at night, all the fun things. So anyways, how are you doing? And
I'm doing good.
How has your last week been?
My week has been good. I have been all over traveling, did some work training in back in Tennessee, so that was good. Right. Learning refrigeration, honing my skills, and I did learn a lot. So it was a good couple days. And there was gaming in Tennessee, so.
Oh, tight! It goes down that far. That far
was
south.
There.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude, it's one of my favorite things about the East Coast is Yuengling. Because I always have Yuengling Premium in the fridge or the Yuengling Lager. So always one of those two. The black and tan is good too. If you ever pick that up, the black and tan is really
I will keep
good.
that in mind. Maybe I'll be traveling more.
Smooth. Have you ever had a black and tan before?
I'm trying to think, but I don't think I did.
So it's a stout, and they layer it a certain way. So they pour half the glass with the stout and the other half with an amber, and then you can either mix them up by swirling it around and mix them both together, or if you sip it slow enough, they stay separated.
Oh, so, 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I like it.
So you were in Nashville. How was it? Did you get to do any sightseeing?
No, it was all business. Oh. I was held captive. I had no vehicle.
Oh, bummer. Just got to Uber. Just got to hitchhike. It was
pretty. I saw some trees.
Hitchhike. Show some leg.
The fall foliage. I did go running, so I had that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you gotta stay active. That's one thing I haven't been doing this last week and a half with being sick and whatnot. It kind of took all the wind out of my sails.
That's how I've been feeling. So just got to get back to it. I got into it yesterday and stuff, and I was feeling better already. So just little by little. It may seem like it's all far gone or like you lost a whole bunch because you took a week off, but it didn't go anywhere. It's still right there.
Yeah, definitely.
One pump.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, getting after it. Yeah, I got to get some more wood for the wood burning stove in the garage.
Yeah,
and then get that garage heated up and then start getting after it in the squat rack.
Yes, sir.
So October was supposed to be the month that I was supposed to build up my squat and try and get past my PR, which is 405. So I was trying to get up to 430, and I was basing all of my training for the month off of 405. And for the first 3 weeks, I was fine. And then all of a sudden got sick, and then boom, it just took everything out of it. So I'm right back to where I was before. So my max right now is probably 365 if I were to try and squat tomorrow and try and max out. But give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks, I'm right back up to 400.
I see that as like a cold max, right? Because if you were really working on it, you would spend 2 or 3 days warming up, right?
Right.
You're not that far behind.
A good solid week. You get 3 or 4 days of squatting heavy, box squatting. You're getting those getting that the explosive movement set and getting that muscle memory back, and also it's a lot to do with core and technique.
Yeah.
So once you get
Gotta
that
get the blood
that
flow.
technique back down, boom, you're there. Whew.
I love it.
Exciting stuff. That kind of this talk about staying motivated.
Yeah, it's true.
Brings us to today's topic. And being responsible, being self-accountable. As we're getting older, I've got a kid on the way. You've got two. So, getting we've got to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of the household.
Yeah, it's true. Before you can give back, you've got to be able to, be healthy enough.
Yeah, we've got to be the foundation. Of course, our wives are terrific as well, so they're keeping the house in check as well, and so, but maintaining that accountability sets a precedent for them too, because now
they see it.
Yeah, they see it every day.
They see your dedication. They see something as simple as just going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. That's indicative of how you live your life, right? Because you're going to be addressing other things in your life that maybe are overlooked in other people's lives. So
right,
you're an adult. There's only
there's
so many people that can keep you accountable at this point.
Yeah, and there's always something coming up.
There's always an easy excuse.
Yeah, it's always like, oh well, I've got these 2 things this week, so I obviously can't work out Thursday and Friday. Friday's my day that we go out and eat and have a couple beers.
Already planning on your escape route, right? You already have the parachute on before you've even gotten into the airplane at this point.
Yeah, can't do that. As soon as you get home on Friday, get that workout in. Get in that mindset before you even get home. Don't even give your a chance to sit down, relax. Boom. Either go to the gym or get in your garage, whatever you have. Get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done. Get it done before 6:30. Then you can go out with the missus or with whoever you want, with the boys.
You'll be feeling a lot better.
Or if you're a lady, go out with the ladies. We've got a ton of female viewership, I know.
It's true. So, so thinking back last week when I was on my work trip, the first day I was kind of depressed. I didn't have my family there, but one thing I overlooked was I didn't go do something physical. And so maybe a lot of that was my own doing by not just moving, Right. Sometimes you got to get out of your head, and the easiest way is physically just move.
Right. Yeah, when something's a little bit unfamiliar, you just kind of go to the default setting of not doing anything.
And actually, Brooke had said that. So I was in my default setting. It's like, I need meat, I need beer, and I need
relaxation.
Nothing else, right? Because my family's not around; they're taken care of, and so like now I'm like truly at like the default setting, which is like the army us, and it was just like, all right, now I'm on standby, just waiting for the next instruction, and I need to be the one to give the instruction.
Right.
To do the right thing.
And then you're spending all day learning something new. You're paying attention extra hard, or however you want to put it. Your mind is at 100% throughout the day when you're in training, because you're trying to absorb it. Now, whether or not you use this training right off the bat when you're working, that's another issue. But at that moment, you're trying to soak it all in, so then when you do see it in the field, it clicks.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna want to be able to remember that information.
Yeah. You see it in real time and in that real life scenario, and you're like, oh, okay, this is what happened in training. Even though it's pretty, or you have less space to work in, boom, it's there. You can get it done. But sometimes,
and so it's interesting, because it doesn't matter about the space. The principles don't usually change.
Right.
And
that goes a lot of stuff with like maintenance and fixing things. It's a puzzle. And sometimes you got to use your critical thinking and go outside of the box. So go outside of your training and kind of remember, okay, what did you do for a different portion of, for like a different piece of equipment, or maybe a previous job that you had, maybe since you work on those slushy machines, maybe something that you remembered from working in the Army fixing trucks.
Yeah. A lot of it is order of operations.
How to apply thread tape properly, or pipe dope, whatever the case may be. You can relate it back and forth.
Yeah. So going a little, taking the time when you're already in it will save you time later. So
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I think I kind of deviated what we were talking about, but
it's all relative.
I'm trying to focus.
It's
I'm
all
trying
relative.
to stay focused.
And so,
but staying accountable. And when you're like out of your comfort zone, or whether or not, or like when we went on our honeymoon in July, I think it was July. Yeah, in Florida, it was really hot, so it was hard to be like, hey, I didn't want to go out and run. The water was already like 90 degrees. So, I mean, we did go paddle boarding for like an hour and a half in the morning. And it was pretty relaxing. The water was a little bit too warm for my liking right off the beach. But hey, you're still in paradise.
That's true.
And still enjoying my time. Didn't have to worry about work or anything else. So, but we were there to have fun and enjoy ourselves, but not, I don't know, I just didn't get too crazy. I wasn't getting sloppy drunk. A few beers every night, and then we would go out to eat, like I said, have 2 or 3 beers, and then that was it. So,
yeah, it's all proportional to, what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah, also I got responsibilities. I have a pregnant wife, so can't go too far off the rails. That's a little irresponsible.
You got to make sure that they're all right, and
yeah,
if you're too far gone, then
gotta be in the moment too. I mean, we're there to enjoy each other's company and celebrate our nuptials. So, boom, you gotta be in the present. You can't just can't just let loose and then just black out. And
yeah, well, you said that one time. I asked you some question. You're like, "Hey, man, I like to smell the roses."
Yeah,
and I was like, "All right, let's smell them then, buddy. Let's go."
Yeah, it's like going to a sporting event or a concert and not being on your phone the whole time recording.
Yeah,
What's
right?
the point?
You're not going to watch that.
Exactly.
Ain't no
nobody's watching it on your stories. Nobody's watching your post. They might like your post and give you like a little heart and comment, "Oh, very cool." They're only watching like 10 seconds of that silly video. And guess what?
I like to do both.
It doesn't look as cool on your phone as it does in person. So please.
It's because they didn't select 60 frames a second.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I know that the microphones used to be pretty garbage. They might be better now.
The microphones now are dangerously good.
Yeah. So I did record some when I was at the Phillies Diamondbacks game, but it was the starting lineup, and then that was it.
Oh,
I recorded the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And
I did want to ask, how was the experience? Was it good?
So Citizens Bank Park is loud. The Philadelphia fan base is as advertised. They are loud. They're passionate. They have that blue collar city feel. Like they don't have that. No disrespect to the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have a very broad fan base from people who aren't necessarily from LA, or kind of like the New York Yankees too. They're so spread out. So I feel like if you're outside of New York City, or LA, you see a bunch of their fans at your stadium and you're like, but I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's just a different breed in Philadelphia. But
Yeah.
I got more compliments on my jersey because I had an old school 2001 World Series Arizona Diamondbacks jersey. I had the old school hat on, not this one. I had an old school Diamondback hat on with the D on it. It was black. It said World Series on the side. So I got more compliments off of that than I did get heckled.
There you go.
But
that's all it takes.
But after we got down 8-0, I had one guy yell in my face, and then I said that was it. And so we ended up leaving. We ended up leaving a little bit early. We beat traffic, got home by midnight. So it was a school day. So I had to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So did my wife. So it was for the best. Now, if the Diamondbacks were competitive that game, we would have stayed, and probably would have been at home at like 3 o'clock.
It's all relative to what's going on.
Exactly. It was a once in a lifetime moment. Tickets weren't cheap, so I wanted that whole experience. We were up in the upper tier of the stadium, and dude, I'm telling you, I couldn't hear my own thoughts when everybody was yelling. When the
pretty good.
I think the Phillies hit 2 home runs in the first inning, or either that or 1 home run. Either Trey Turner hit one. Yeah, I think Trey Turner hit one, and it just went crazy. Couldn't hear, and then they were heckling the starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Merrill Kelly, and they're just yelling Merrill, Merrill. That's all you could hear, man. That's all you could hear. I got to clap once. It was Ketel Marte hit a double. I got to clap that one time. It was a rough game, but the experience was awesome. You just gotta be.
You went to a playoff game.
Yeah, it's sports. You can't get butthurt when your team loses by a lot. It is what it is. It's baseball. Sometimes you lose by a lot. Sometimes you win by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you end up paying a lot of money to watch your team lose. That's just what it is. It's just how the cookie crumbles. That's life, baby.
Well, you got to roll the dice to play.
I mean, that kind of that goes along with what we're saying too. Like, you're investing in your life and in your future, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So you've got to adjust course.
Yeah. So recognizing the realities at hand.
Right.
Seeing you're down 8-1, and it's late in the game. People are going to start losing it, and so might as well just remove yourself instead of dealing with their hassle, because it's not your hassle.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Put the guys in the bullpen that don't usually see a lot of time. Just try and coast out the rest of the game. The other team's probably going to coast the rest of the game, and then we just get out of there and then start fresh the next day. Sometimes a night's sleep is what's best. You can reset yourself, or a nice weekend.
Right.
Taking the family out, going to the lake, or as you like to go up the mountain.
We do. Yeah. That worked out good. Actually, we went just the other day, and we were above all the pollution. Literally, you can see the smog and the dust all at the valley floor, and it was like crystal clear blue skies above us. So it's a great day.
Man, it's rough.
It was rough at 8,000 feet.
Yeah. Dude, it's so much. It's really chilly up there too, especially now.
Well, so
I remember
it was like 45 degrees,
yeah.
But since it was sunny out, it felt like 70.
So when Andy got married, we went up there for his bachelor party.
Oh, really?
And and so it was like high 70s down in the valley, and then we drove up. And this is Tucson, Arizona, for everybody that's wondering. This is Tucson, Arizona, going up Mount Lemmon. So give you a little bit of perspective of what's going on. It does get chilly in Arizona. You just got to go. You just got to climb. So
gotta go up.
I had the Jeep, my yellow Jeep. I had the doors off and the top off, or the top rolled back. And I'm in shorts and flip-flops. And then I got my bag packed for camping. And Sean and I are driving up. Yeah, we didn't dress for the occasion. It was freezing by the time we got halfway up there. And we're like, oh my God.
That's not the first time that it's happened in your yellow Jeep.
No, that wasn't. That wasn't. I remember
And
that.
I also, anytime I see a yellow Jeep, I ask Brooke, is that Scott's old Jeep? Still to this day, I'll ask her
I always try and see if they have the Krager black rims.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I had on those. On that Jeep with the black Krager rims, and all 5 rims matched.
That's true.
So yeah. But that was, the Jeep was sold in Tucson. So it was at that Toyota dealership. I forget which one it was. But I traded in the Jeep and the GMC for that Chevy, that red Chevy Silverado.
For Clifford,
the big red truck.
there you go.
Yeah, smashed that thing to bits.
It was such a good truck.
Oh my God, turned that thing into a sled. That was nuts. Well, that's what happens. So
Accidents
being
happen.
responsible is when you have tires that aren't fit for the road, replace them.
Is that what happened?
Because
You had a blowout?
Yep, I had a blowout. Left front tire put me in a ditch.
Oh,
And
bummer.
a giant boulder took out the front right tire. I mean,
it just took everything out, huh?
Oh, it was 50 feet back. So I had 0 brakes.
Oh, yeah.
After it took the wheel off. And then, it was a roller coaster. I was a giant sled for probably about 50 to 100 feet.
Yeah. That's why you wear your seatbelts, kids.
Yeah, that was coming back from the Grand Canyon. So I was 25 at the time, 26. I think it was my first year at UTI.
Man.
Going to school. So
A long time ago.
coming back from the Grand Canyon. First time I'm from Arizona, and that was the first time seeing the Grand Canyon.
What?
Mm-hmm. I think you and Brooke went up to
We did
the Grand Canyon before I ever
Petrified Forest. We did the volcano crater, and
we did
Grand
that
Canyon.
too. Julia and I did that as well.
You went to the crater area.
Yep.
Saw the volcanic ash. I think it's pretty cool.
Yep. It was really neat.
I like seeing all the black hills and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, the next thing I want to do when going back to visit is go down the Grand Canyon. I want to get on a mule or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to go. Go mule.
Stay up there for a whole weekend and get a couple mules, go down, trek the bottom.
You can go
of the
down,
Grand
take the mule back up.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to go.
Definitely.
You don't
That's
have to deal
rough
with it.
life. That's rough for the mule. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect for those workhorses. Those mini horses. I want to talking about mules. I do want a donkey. If we get a new house and just a little bit of property, I already told Julia I'm getting a donkey.
Yeah.
I'm getting a donkey and a rooster. I want 2 of the most annoying animals. Because the rooster is going to wake up the donkey. And then the donkey is going to be like, I need to eat, man.
Well, so the thing is that Brooke's parents live near people that have a donkey, and it's not annoying at all.
Yeah.
It's just like farm life. I don't know. I like it.
There's a family right across the street that have a rooster, and that thing's always squawking. I love it. Oh, they have a goat. They have a goat up there too. That's pretty loud. It is what it is. It doesn't bother me. It's just for the first month or 2 living here, I had no idea what it was though. It just sounded like some crazy creature in the wilderness.
You in the country. That's you forgot.
Yeah. I was like, is that Sasquatch?
It's just
they do proclaim that Pennsylvania is Sasquatch country.
Everyone's Sasquatch country.
That's true.
I've got my
'Cause
theories about it.
Oh yeah, okay, let's go.
Right now, it's easy. It's all just imagination.
Yeah, it's
I've been in the desert. I've heard the
uh-huh.
sounds of the Native American, and it's all the plants. It's the plants
Uh-huh.
make the craziest sounds for no reason, and there's nothing there. It's just the plants.
Right. Well, I mean, some animals make some crazy sounds too.
And yeah, there is some, and there could be some wild things living there that we haven't seen yet. I don't know. There's plenty of things
Right.
we don't know yet. Nearly
Yeah.
all
So
those situations and scenarios, it's pretty explainable, actually.
yeah, there was a radio station in St. Louis that was saying, I forget where in Illinois, but there was a certain national forest or national park that that had a Bigfoot sighting. So they were all going to camp there for the weekend. I forget. I guess they do it every year. So, but anyways, so you got Illinois that's saying that Sasquatch is there. I know in Washington
State
and Oregon is a big one. Alaska, obviously. I mean, you're not going to find them in Alaska.
I mean, come on. Everyone's ready with a phone for the littlest thing in traffic to pick up the most minutest detail of everything, but yet there's no concise evidence of any of these animals existing. So,
well, yeah, you'd think there'd be at least
pretty
one.
simple.
After the Patterson film, you would think there'd be at least one in the last 20. Well, like let's say the last 13 years since 2010. You'd think there'd be at least one high definition video or picture.
And now you're at the point where AI is just going to make some fake thing and everyone's going to believe it.
Yep. Yeah, we've gotten past that sweet spot of technology. So we are now into
it just goes back to what I said about it being imagination. Fake. Just think of UFOs in the 60s and 50s. All our planes were chrome. Jim Bob ain't ever seen nothing fly in his life. And this chrome thing flew over his head at 300 miles per hour. Yeah, It's a UFO. That's a definition of a UFO in his mind.
Right.
So almost all those were just governmental planes flying over people who've never seen a plane fly in their life.
Right. You remember those floating balloons in Iraq?
Oh, yeah. They got those
light balloons. Dude, Griggs was going crazy. He's like, that was UFOs. Because they just disappeared all of a sudden. They just zipped
because they
away. I was like, Griggs, those are just lights. Those are just the floating parachute lights.
There was more to that too, though. So
that was right near Cobra, I think.
They were coming out of nowhere.
I think that was just 230th shooting the shit off so that they could see.
It definitely seemed like lantern lights or whatever you would call it.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's the same phenomena. Like if you don't know, like it just suddenly appears. What would you think?
Right.
So some of it is I don't know. Goes back to taking responsibility for things that you may not know and not overreacting about it, right?
Oh yeah, that's like waiting 24 hours to 48 hours to respond to something, especially like current events.
Especially in our world of AI manipulation.
Yeah, something that kind of gets a rise out of you or makes you a little bit emotional. Just give it 24 hours to 48 hours. Let it marinate. Sometimes that can be detrimental, but for the most part, it can be beneficial to your psyche of not blowing it out of proportion.
I don't know. If it's not going to take food out of your mouth or, shelter away from your body, then it probably doesn't matter.
Right.
Kind of got to internalize a pecking order here and go from there.
Yeah.
Because I saw something. I saw something. It was all, people are worried about sugar going, running out. And in the same article, it explains about how there was 3.6 billion excess tons or billion pounds of it. So we have excess. It's almost at an impossibility to run out. Yeah, everyone
it's
thinks
impossible
you're
to
going to run
consume
out.
all of it. Right.
They throw it away every year.
Right.
So, you're right. So just take the 24 hours before making some
Before
type of
losing.
life-changing decision.
Yeah, before losing your mind and going on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media thing and losing your mind over it and losing friendships, family, relationships with your family members and whatnot. Just give it some time. I've been a victim of that. Not a victim, but I've perpetuated that. During COVID, I was losing my mind because I was furloughed for about 6 months, so I had nothing but time. I was bored. I was death scrolling or however you want to call it.
Boredom is the enemy of the mind for sure.
Going through Facebook, YouTube, all of it.
And they wanted you to be on that. They wanted you to be so overconsumed and overstimulated by propaganda that you would lose detachment from reality.
Yeah. And I'm arguing with my aunts, uncles, close friends. They're arguing with me. I had some friends that were talking about my privilege, and I'm like, what privilege? I was poor when I was a kid.
Well, yeah.
I was making buttered toast as a snack. That was a snack, buttered toast with some cinnamon.
And it's funny you say that because now that's like a delicacy. I make my own bread, and I'd rather eat that than some crap from the store.
Yeah, but I mean that was definitely we couldn't afford Little Debbie's, nor did I really want to. I was a pretty fit kid.
See, the thing
I was playing sports and all sorts of stuff, so I didn't like that extra stuff.
The Little Debbie's were real then, and they were delicious.
Yeah, they had the real sugar in it.
They had the real chocolate.
The cane sugar.
But Scott, it's funny you said that because someone said that to me in middle school, like, "Oh, because you have money," and I was just like, my dad's complaining constantly about being what was it, too rich to have the school buy me lunch, but too poor to make me buy it or some shit.
Yeah. When you're middle class, you get you're
really in the middle.
This is. Well, when I was in kindergarten, first and second grade, I was poor. So we were barely making. Mom was barely making ends meet for us. She was working her butt off, working 2 jobs, with the 4 or 5, and my brother Chris, he's 2 years younger than me. So I was 5, he was 3, and all the way up to 6 and 7 years old. So we were poor, and then we got out of that later on. Mom remarried and whatnot, and we were finally able to climb back up to middle class. And like you're saying, like when you're in the middle, there's no favors. You're almost stuck there. And like almost no matter what you do, you're kind of pigeonholed in that one spot to where you're month to month, you can pay your bills, but that's it. Like there's not a lot of extracurriculars outside of that.
Oh yeah.
You really got to plan and save for any like road trips or anything. And I understand that there's some privilege in that. There's millions of people that don't get to do that. I understand it.
I don't know.
But
every story I've heard of people who struggle.
As long as you're,
it's about the work. It's about the accountability, and it's about putting aside the things you want for yourself now for the things you want later.
Yeah. As long as you're responsible for yourself, you can then build a family and prosper. But you have to take care of yourself, your psyche, everything, your physical abilities before you can progress. Or else you're going to stay the same or get worse.
Well, so that's the ultimate thing people have to come grips with is you do always have to view it through the lens of improvement. It's too often do people get sucked into something that's comfortable and then it's actually now destroying them.
Right.
So.
Well, it's just like being stagnant. That's not healthy. Like, I mean, there was a time before technology and whatnot or whatever. It was, we were hunting and gathering and coming up with different ways to feed ourselves, to hunt. There's still some critical thinking involved. And so you've got to maintain that. You got to keep moving. The world is so easy right now, and we get stagnant because everything is at our fingertips. Like, we don't have to.
It is often overlooked at how easy our lives have become. And so most of our frustrations are due to the fact that we're not content. And it's okay you're not content. You got to do something about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Part of it is
shouldn't be
that's
content.
why you feel anxious at night. It's because you didn't run today. It's because you didn't do something physical, because you didn't sweat, or you didn't do some other complex problem solving in your mind, which is a muscle.
But
these are the things that lead us to do things to get out of our mind, when we should actually harness it. Once you feel those things, grab hold of it and run with it. Let it take you.
Yes. My mind is my own church. Let's go.
And if it's full of, I can't do this, then you're not going to do shit.
Go to that temple. Meditate. Do what you got to do to help improve yourself. Calm the mind. There's too much out there now. It's too busy. Sometimes you got to get within yourself.
And so that's the tough part, is having a game plan. And this is what someone told me a long time ago, is think about scenarios, so then when they come up, you'll have already dealt with them in your mind. So then the next time you're stressed out and you're about to like punch a wall, think about how you're going to deal with it beforehand. So then when it comes into your mind, you're already going down a different path.
That's what I do. That's what I do in the shower. I have fake conversations with myself.
I think everyone does.
I always conjure up situations that would never happen.
And I think it's healthy. It's healthy. You've got to run those scenarios in your head.
Yeah.
It's okay. You gotta be able that's why you have imagination. You can think of these things. So you don't have to go do it in real life and mess up.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, because there's little imagination when you're stuck on a computer or your phone. You're seeing what somebody else has put out, or what's already there.
That is a propagation. To propagandize your mind. Correct.
I know when I settle down and I just sit in my recliner, or if I'm just driving for work and I really don't have anything on, maybe I'm listening to a podcast that's a little maybe mundane and I'm not really hearing it, but it's just white noise at the moment. I get my best thinking. Sometimes I develop a game plan for this podcast and get my thinking points laid out while I'm driving. And then I get home and write those down real quick. Yeah, just like the shower. Just being able to sit and reflect on your own and just silence the world.
That's a big part of it, is taking time for ourselves.
Yes.
To really reflect on our own thoughts. A lot of times we're not having our own thoughts right now.
Oh, for the most part, we're not. We're just doom scrolling. I think that's the term, doom scrolling on your phone. You're just going through the algorithm.
It's just a reactionary force.
You're going through an algorithm that's predicted
doesn't have your best
for you.
interest in heart.
It really doesn't, because it's putting that stuff out there, like we were saying, that makes you emotional. And that's going to get a reaction out of you, because guess what? You might be making a comment on somebody's page in either disagreement or in praise, whichever it may be. Usually it's in disagreement if you comment, because you're like, no, it's this. Those are most of the comments that you see online. You don't see a lot of, you're doing great, man. This is awesome content. There's not a lot of that. It's just a lot of people going, that's not my perspective, or whatever. Like, they don't actually lay out the positives. They just go straight for the negatives.
Yeah.
So you got to get away from that. You got to also praise yourself too when you're reflecting. Be like, I did some good today.
Mm-hmm.
You got to.
And these can be very small wins. It's all relative.
Absolutely. You've got to. It doesn't matter how big the W is. Just get a win, and the ball starts rolling.
Yeah, because you were talking about how you wanted to hit a certain goal on squats, and maybe that's not the point of this season. It was just showing up, right? Like you still did it. You're still stronger than you would have been had you done nothing.
Oh, I had 6 strong weeks.
Don't ever do nothing because of something you've built up.
Right.
Right.
So this week and a half of being off, it's okay. I'm
just view it as a deep rest.
Yeah, I'm feeling
that's
a
how
little.
I see it as.
I'm not gross, but just unathletic at the moment. I just feel blah. But my body does feel a lot better. I bowled pretty good last night. I shot a 180, a 230, and then I kind of fell off the third game, shot a 144. Now, it is on a professional oil pattern, so it's a little bit more difficult. I got in my head a little bit in the last game, got a little tired. It was like 8:30 at night, so at that time I'm kind of done. I want to relax, but this is my hobby.
Scott, it's okay. We got to look at this in perspective here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some math for us.
Oh, let's do it. I love math.
At 35
I'm actually
years,
pretty good math.
At 35 years, that is over 1,800 weeks. And so just taking that, taking 2 weeks off doesn't make a difference.
Right. Yeah, in the grand scheme, yes. You're right.
Because you have thousands. You have another 1,000 weeks to go. You're good. Easy.
Well, ever since I started, taking my health and everything seriously since, I was 24. So I had a bad year getting out of the Army. I was really lazy, drinking a lot. Didn't work for that year that after I got out. Feeling sorry for myself. Ever since then, so 12 years later, I'm in pretty decent shape. I'm actually 5 pounds heavier than I was when I was 23, but I've got a lot more muscle mass. I'm actually more fit than I used to be. I'm not. Yeah. I thought I was going to be walking with a cane by the time I was 30. I really thought that. I was already looking up canes and stuff when I was 24 years old. And then once I started squatting, deadlifting, working out with my buddy Trevor, shout out. He used to do a lot of bodybuilding competitions and stuff, and he was my motivation, my gym bro. Mm-hmm. Him and I were going to Gold's Gym all the time on Ina. On Oracle.
Yeah, and that's an important point because I don't know how many times in my 20s or even in my teens that I heard people who were in their 30s and 40s complaining about being old, and it was all due to neglect. They neglected their body, and now they're paying the price. Like you're saying, for the last 2-3 years, I have not had any pains in my body.
Right.
They just don't exist. But
that's like
that period between, getting out of the Army and really starting to be motivated. Yeah, there was periods when I was like, oh, my back's messed up. Like, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
Maybe I can't work. But that's not true. It was just I needed support. My muscles, my body needed the support, needed to get moving. Yeah.
And I mean, the one thing lately is cutting out. I mean, ever since I was 24, 25, I stopped drinking during the weekdays too. Because that was big because I was going to work hungover. And there was a couple of days where I called out sick. And I was like, this is my own fault. Why am I calling out sick? This is my own doing. That's me not being responsible. That's me not taking accountability, not showing up for work because I don't feel like it. Because I don't have the energy for it.
And I'm glad you recognize that because I really hate that. Yeah. That's like a terrible mentality to have. It's like, oh, I can't make it today because something I did yesterday.
Yep. So if it's my own doing, like I was saying, when I went and watched the Diamondbacks play in the NLCS against the Phillies, I knew that was my own doing.
You're gonna be tired.
I was going to work the next day, no matter if I got home at 3 or 4. I was waking up at 6 and going to work.
Yeah.
I was already prepared for it. I already had, my energy drink laid out. I already had my food prepped for the 6 a.m. wake up to get to work. And luckily I got home at midnight, and then I fell asleep at 1. So
yeah, and so
still
something I've
got
noticed
5 hours of sleep.
when you start doing those things, life becomes a lot easier.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter if you got home at midnight or 3, the outcome's the same.
Right.
You were going to work regardless.
Right.
And so
yeah, you have
responsible shouldn't be
obligations.
scary because it now enables you to have control. And when you have control, you don't have to worry.
Right.
You're deciding,
Right. Yeah, once you plan, it's like having automatic payments for your bills and whatnot. Like, you already know those are coming out. If you're comfortable in your situation and you can do automatic billing, that's one less thing you got to worry about. And you can focus on some other stuff. So once you start getting into a routine and you're accountable, you no longer have to worry about, how am I going to feel the next day?
We can actually do that.
That's one less thing you got to worry about.
Yeah. Because that goes in line with what I was saying. Having a budget does not financially constrain you. It's what will set you free.
Yes.
And so
discipline
it's the same
discipline is freedom. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jocko Willink talks about that. Discipline is freedom. And that's the thing. It's like, you might think that you're putting yourself in a cage, but in all reality is you're just organizing everything.
Yeah.
You're less chaotic. You don't have a bunch of tabs open. You've now consolidated a bunch of stuff that you no longer have to worry about until it's time to worry about it, and then boom, you can take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So look up Jocko Willink. He's a pretty good dude to listen to. I think former Navy SEAL. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast every so often. Pretty good dude. Look up. There's a video of his that I listen to a lot, and it's of Sisyphus. So Sisyphus was punished, and he's got to constantly push a rock up a hill. And then once he gets the rock up the hill, it's got to go back down, and then he's got to push it back up. That's what we do in the squat rack. That's what we do with our bodies. That's what we do with our minds. We're constantly pushing that rock up that mountain. We are Sisyphus.
Mm-hmm.
It's the goal isn't getting to the top of the mountain. The goal is pushing that rock for yourself.
That's right.
That's the goal. Is that journey. Because once you get the rock up there, guess what? The rock's got to come back down. You just can't stay up there. What are you going to do? You're going to get bored. You're going to get complacent. You got to toss that rock back down and bring it back up. You got to set a new goal. You got to go back to church.
I love it.
All right.
Because if you don't push yourself, no one else will.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Go harder. Nobody cares. Get back to work. The rent is due. All of those sayings. The rent is due. Get to it.
There's a correlation between what is it, sayings and just do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, just do it. And you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. No, do it today. Yeah, I don't always practice what I preach. Like I said, it's been a week and a half since I've actually, I did try squatting a couple days ago. I just didn't feel it. So I did a couple sets and then watched the Diamondbacks in the World Series. I think I was more focused on watching my team play.
It's not always physical. Sometimes it's mental. You're still mentally recovering. It's okay.
Yep.
And you didn't take 2 months off. You got to keep it in perspective, because sometimes I get in the same habit where I'm like, oh man, I didn't go to the gym. And I really think about it, and it's been 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked out like 80% of the last 30 days.
Yeah, and you feel like you lost all that you accomplished in like that 1 month, the 2 month span.
But you have.
No, you haven't.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's life is a game of inches, days, however you want to say it. It all culminates at the end. You don't see the goal yet. You don't see the finish line yet, but you will get there. And then you got another finish line to go afterwards.
It's not over.
It's never over.
Never over.
It's never over until you're in the ground. It's never over.
Some say that's when the true work begins.
Well, one day we'll find out. One day we will find out. I'm hoping it's a little later than sooner.
Oh, it will be.
I'm enjoying my time here on Earth. Some days I don't.
No way to change that anyway. So
yeah. Nope.
It was written long ago and many moons before.
Many moons. Many moons. Hey, so what's this deal about the moon stuff?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Something's going on with the moon the last 2 days. It's out there. I don't know. The moon is visible.
Yeah, the moon's always visible.
I saw a meme that somebody posted to me and go, "Oh yeah, let's just go out there and stare at the moon that's always been there."
Yeah. Well, people don't know this, but it spins around the Earth a lot faster than the sun. So it's going to be out during the day, and then tomorrow it'll be in a completely different position.
Sometimes I see it during the day. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm trying to find a happy spot for this mic. Hey, this is a new microphone. I hope everybody enjoys this.
In solar terms, it's like a quarter of an inch from our face. That's why it's just right there. It's not far. People think it's far. It's not far.
Absolutely. What if?
Couldn't be any closer, trying to. Honestly.
They were trying to. I saw a picture, and somebody put if they put Jupiter in the same spot as the moon.
Yeah, it's like a whole horizon.
Massive it would be. It would be the whole horizon. It would be the entire sky.
The moon is
so
really small. I
was
was thinking today it was looking pretty big, but
yeah. Well, somebody was saying, Cody was saying something that there's a ring. There was a ring around it. I hope I'm not messing up the sound. Does it sound good? I keep messing with it.
You're fine.
Okay.
We'll go into depth on our moon here on our next episode.
Oh, next episode. Hey, next episode is with our buddy Daniel Schnacky. We're going to talk to him about Army life, share some pictures, and then what he's got going on in his life currently. His family, his work, all that fun stuff. All his endeavors, because he's been in a couple startup companies. He's worked with big corporate, all the fun stuff. So we're going to talk to him about his life that's going on, because Danny's a pretty interesting person. He's very upbeat.
Yeah, playa.
Upbeat guy. He was a generator tech in the Army, and that's what I do now. So I kind of want to talk a little shop with him too.
That is kind of funny that you say that now.
Yeah. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I helped them. Yeah, when we were at Hope, I helped them out with one generator. I think we had to change a water pump on it. It wasn't that bad. But I do remember that those tiny generators, putting the enclosure back on because there's like 100 bolts. You've got to almost hammer it back together because nothing lines up.
Not when you take it all apart.
I had like 6 different picks in different holes to try and line up the roof of it or something, and then try and get the other screws in, and then hoping that you could get the ones that the picks that you had
flat
in.
Heads.
Oh my god, terrible.
I don't know what it was, but
no, it took I think they're 10 millimeter screws.
Good luck.
Yeah, just a lot of them. There was at least 50 screws that hold that whole thing together. And it's flimsy steel, or aluminum, whatever it is. It's metal. It's not aluminum.
That's high grade, aircraft grade aluminum.
Yeah. Terrible. Awful. So, all right. We are at 56 minutes. Let's harvest. We have harvested some memes for y'all, for your entertainment, for your pleasure. Meme farming for you. That's what we're doing.
Let's see. You ready for the first one?
Yeah, let's go. Oh, that's a
this?
shot. Hey, we're on the same team, all right? We're on the same team, and that's America. Yeah, it's the lady yelling at the cat.
Yeah.
You're not even real military.
That digs a little deep here.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to an Air Force base, but they are very nice. The cafeterias are nicer, the housings are nicer. So when you your Army, you feel like you're second class citizen.
I've heard Air Force people say there's no way I'd stay in an Army barracks. So
no.
They get the hotel.
They're like mold. They're like mold.
Mold
What's
and red
mold?
water? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Mud water? No, never. Cops and Fed boys. Mind your own business. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is one of my favorite movies. You start slapping his head.
I can't disagree with anything going on here.
Mind your own business. Yeah, because they were French. And they come up and say, hey, we need to come into your castle, I believe, by king's orders. And they're like, we don't have a king. You're not our king. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kings, no masters. So Veterans Day and the Marine birthday is right around the corner. So I thought we would share this. I know I got a couple Marine buddies. So this is the Marine Church.
It's the experience.
They love their crowns. Each color is a specific flavor.
None of us came up with this. This was something from their side.
Yes. Yeah, we lick windows. The Marines eat crayons. Here's a picture of my Christmas tree. That's true. My Christmas tree is not up at the moment. It is somewhere up here. Oh, no, we haven't bought it yet. We always get a live one now that we've moved up here to PA. Yep.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
that's where my tree is. Still in the garage.
Yeah.
Probably be getting it this week.
Yeah, Arizona always had the fake one with the lights already in it.
I do want to go cut one down though.
Little bitty one.
4 hours to go grab one.
There's probably we need to bring up some old pictures of our apartment with all the flags and stuff. There's probably a Christmas tree picture in there.
I know, but that was before phones. Sorry.
I think Missile Rick. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a Pickle Rick tattoo. I don't know if you ever watched Rick and Morty, but it's a pretty funny show.
I did not.
Oh, it's funny. So he turns himself into a pickle. And then he uses he kills a rat, and then he attaches the rat's arms and legs, and he's like running around. He's like, I'm Pickle Rick. It's pretty funny. You gotta watch it.
All right.
Probably could just bring it up on YouTube, and it's probably like a 5-minute portion of that episode. Yeah, remember before we went to Iraq and we did was it 3 weeks that we were out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Training at Fort Polk 3 weeks, and you're like, the first week that we were there, you're like, I haven't pooped.
I also ran out of water, so that might have been part of it.
I was like, Corey, you gotta poop.
Hey, it was survival of the fittest. There was nowhere to go, okay? I was a warfighting machine with one objective, to keep going.
Hey, there's a porta potty that Kruger left his 249 in.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you remember the punishment for that?
No.
They found the biggest ratchet strap in the motor pool. They found the biggest ratchet strap, and they attached it to his 249. So 249 is a machine gun with the same caliber as like an M4 or AR-15. So he left that in the porta potty, and so somebody else found it, and you get punished when you leave sensitive equipment. When you forget it. So
how could you forget a whole saw?
The handle on the ratchet strap was that big. It was like 1.5 feet.
Oh yeah.
It was the biggest ratchet strap.
That was a 20-ton.
It was hilarious. Hilarious. Was that all the memes?
That was all the memes, and then we have you want to show your photos?
Yeah, the baby shower. Yeah, we had a baby shower this 2 weeks ago. So that is my wife and I getting presents. We were at the gun club, so that's why you see the bear and the rifle in the background. So we were at the gun club right down the road.
Yeah.
We went shooting afterwards too, so
excellent.
I busted out the AR-15 Colt. The Colt 8, I think it's A2. AR-15. And then I shot my other AR-15 too. And then
good job.
I forget what else we shot. We were going to shoot pistols, but we ran out of time.
It got dark.
So, we had to leave the gun club because we only had this room reserved for a certain amount of time.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
I got to shoot with the guys, and then during the baby shower, all the guys got to taste baby food, and we had to guess.
Oh, how fun!
I did not do very good.
Because you're not a good baby.
Because carrots, squash, and sweet potato taste the same. They look the same. Huh? They look the same. They taste the same. I thought it was all sweet potato.
Maybe you're onto something. Maybe they're lying to you.
Yeah. I think it was the same jar.
Well, maybe the people giving it to you were messing with you. Who knows?
But it was pretty fun. We had a good time at the baby shower. Julia's excited. She had another ultrasound today, and we got a picture of the baby yawning. So
beautiful.
She was turned away for the most part, so we didn't get like a really clear picture of her. So there's a picture of her back and whatnot, but not like the normal picture that you see people post on.
You're gonna have to wait
on social media. Yep, we're just gonna have to wait for her to
pop out
here in real life, face to face. So,
what are we looking at? How many more weeks?
We're looking at the middle of December.
All right.
So a month and a half.
It's around Brookie's birthday time.
Woo woo. Woo woo. Tight.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. It should be right before Christmas.
All
a week
right.
or two before Christmas.
Exciting.
Yeah. Pretty awesome stuff. I'm excited I'll be able to get paternity leave, so that'll be nice to take off some time and connect with the baby right off the bat.
Yeah.
Pretty stoked about that. Don't have to worry about, for the first 6 weeks, waking up in the middle of the night to feed her and then have to go to work.
Yeah.
Running off of a couple hours of sleep. So that's another thing I need to focus on, being responsible and going to sleep earlier, getting a full night's rest before starting my day, and also preparing myself before the day, because right now I'm just worried about myself before I get out the door and go to work. Now I have another human to worry about.
They can't do a single thing.
Right. So I got to get up a little bit earlier, make sure things are taken care of, and then I can go.
It's a great feeling, though. It's really no added responsibility because,
no, you just got to get up.
It's like intrinsic, it's just like a default part of being a parent.
Yeah, just got to get up. Do the work. Be present. Get after it. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Your mind is your own church. Your mind is your own church. Thomas Paine.
That's right. Keep
Think
your
that
mind
pretty
clear, keep your mind happy, and you'll be happy. If your mind's full of discontent, I guess you'll live a discontent life. Yeah.
You never want to be discontented. Always positive.
Not even sure that's a word.
Always. I know it's not a word.
Although-
Discontinental.
Although Brooke said we were playing Scrabble, she said that's not a word, and I looked it up in my 1977 dictionary, and sure enough, it was a word.
Boom.
So we never know.
In your face, Brooke.
We're gonna edit that part out. Don't worry.
Boom. 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 In your face.
Responsibility is saying. What were we talking about?
Responsibility. Accountability. All the things that make us human.
But most importantly, get moving.
Stay moving. So follow us on our socials. We do have a Facebook page up now, Tar and Feather Podcast. Type in Tar & Feather Podcast into Facebook. Right now I'm on the page. I'm going to add Ganglion here in the near future so he can add his memes. I'm normally adding 1 to 2 memes a day. I'm not trying to berate or get, fill your feed up, barrage your feed. I'm just trying to keep it busy enough to where you see it, you can interact, comment, send me your memes, interact. Do whatever you want to do.
That's true. If you go to our link tree, there is a contact form. You can ask us questions. You can say, "Hey, I want to be on the show and talk about this topic." That you can.
If you got something interesting to talk about, get a hold of us. Hit us up in our DMs.
We will gladly entertain you.
We also have Instagram, Tar and Feather Podcast, all one word. Spell it out. We weren't able to add the ampersand, so "and" is the actual word. Tar and Feather Podcast. Boom. You'll find us on Instagram, or if you're friends with us, just find the link on our Instagram pages.
Just reach out.
And then the link tree is on Instagram to get you to YouTube, to where this episode is, of course. You're already here. So
and
like, subscribe.
Your subscription and your likes and your comment.
Yes. Hit the bell so every time we put something out there, you get notified.
That's right. You will not want to miss our next episode or future and subsequent ones.
Exactly. Because we're going to have Danny Schnacky, episode 4. Episode 5 is going to be a special podcast with Veterans Post Tour. So we're not only going to have Dan Kyle back on, we're going to have his wife, Laura, too, on. And they're going to talk about their endeavors, dive in a little deeper with Veterans Post Tour.
Absolutely.
And maybe,
can't wait.
Hey, we should wear shirts for that one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going all out, folks. We bought their shirts to help them with their equipment because they are going to the VFWs and American Legions and stuff and filming.
Got big plans.
So they need their own equipment.
And so if you can go give them a like and a follow, Veterans Post Tour, they'd be great. And we're excited to show you more about what they're doing.
Boom. Like I said, this is Tar and Feather Podcast. We love you. Keep watching us. We're out.
See you soon.